Hey guys.
Bonjour, comment allez-vous? Très bien. This season we start in French, if you like. Just to say, to show that your improvements. Yeah.
There's no guys, we'll follow the same pattern as we've done previously with the manager. So we'll do radio, start with you, Nick, and then we'll move on to broadcast. Then we'll turn the cameras off, and then for the written guys, I'll let you guys just decide your own embargoes. Nick, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah. Régis, comment? No. Excited?
Yeah, excited. We are going into one of the most exciting seasons for Sunderland in 52 years. Back in Europe, still competing in the Premier League, so it's going to be challenging. Big boost for the club. I think the lads last season earned it. And so just happy to restart and to go in this season.
The inevitable question about ins and outs. Anything in the pipeline at the moment? And is there any update this morning on Dayann Methalie?
I won't comment on individuals as usual. About the transfer market, yeah. I think first of all it's good to keep the core of the group. It's a strong reminder. It's not the end of the story for this group. Our main players want to stay in Sunderland. They want to achieve something big. And it's really positive to keep this core. And after that, quality over quantity. It's not the same dynamic if we compare with last season. It might be reassuring to have a lot of movement, but in that case, it's not our target. We are clear in what we are looking for. It's hard because the market it's not an easy one as well. But at the same time, we stay patient, we stay calm and organised.
And in terms of the game, Ipswich, Thomas Meunier was the concern for you. Is he likely to make the game?
Yes, all of our players are available except Simon, and we'll see for the game time because they are not on the same stage, I would say, fitness level wise, but they are available.
Does that include Nordi and Omar?
Yeah, absolutely.
A little bit of a step into the unknown at Ipswich because of all the transfers, the incomings they'd made this summer, very much like Sunderland last year, and they're at home. It's going to be a tough opening game for you.
Yeah, it's going to be a Premier League game, 100%. They experienced the Premier League 2 years ago, so I think they learned from this experience. They are ambitious, signing 10 players so far, I think. The manager is intense, well known in France. So first game at home as well, so it's more or less Sunderland West Ham last season. So we know exactly what will be the game. It's about intensity, it's about competition at the highest level. So let's get ready.
And what for you are if you've got any concerns going into the game, judging by the Lens and the Rennes game, you spoke afterwards about not starting well enough in the first half and ending strongly, but there are areas clearly that you want to work on ahead of the game.
Yeah, it's important to be Sunderland. I think we showed last season that when we were aligned with our identity, strong pillars, it's about togetherness, it's about consistent hard work, intensity and flexibility about our game model. I think we are good. And when we come away from those pillars, the Premier League is so demanding that you get punished and it hurts. Burnley away, the first game away last season, West Ham away, Forest at home, for example. I think it was strong reminders about the level of this league, and the lads showed that they were consistent because ended up 7th at the end of the season, showed that we showed enough to be competitive.
Is that game away at Burnley last season one you very much have gone back to now in the preparation for Ipswich this weekend?
Yeah, it helps because the lads need strong reminders, and when it was emotional, and I think it's even more powerful. So they are aware of the situation.
Keith?
Régis, I know you won't want to go into details about the situation with Methalie, but obviously the fans are a little bit confused as to what's going on because they saw him here. Is there still a chance that deal could happen?
We'll see. I can't comment on individuals, like I said just before. Yeah.
In terms of the window as a whole, I mean, this time last year you probably had about 12 in, something like that. Completely different this year. You've obviously got the one, and it didn't cost the club anything. Completely different strategy. As the manager, as the sort of figurehead, how are you feeling about that situation?
I trust the club. I trust the process as usual because we are well connected, and if we don't have early signings this season, there's a reason. And it's not because we don't want to achieve the targets. It's just because it's not possible at the minute. The market is a bit different. So we don't have the same targets, first of all. And the market is probably slower than usual. And I would say some clubs as well overpaid some players. And it doesn't help the following situations. Because if a club, for example, pay a player 50 million rather than the real value around 20, then the next signings they want to align with the same. So until the last week, probably this effect will apply.
And you said a moment ago that players want to stay at the club, which is big. I think given the season you had last season, we wouldn't have been surprised to see potentially a couple of players go, or certainly linked with moves away. That hasn't happened. I suppose the big one, the figurehead, is the captain, Granit Xhaka, and of course Chelsea came in for him. Can you just give us a little bit of context as to what happened there and how pleased you are that he's remained a Sunderland player?
Behind the scenes, nothing, but about the trust, the confidence, and the connection with the club. It's really clear. Granit loves this club, loves this group, loves to be part of this journey. And after one season, and you still have a small window around the World Cup to think about different things. But quickly, he switched on. This is Sunderland. I want to go here, and I want to stay here. I want to achieve something even bigger next season.
Régis, just picking up on what you said about Granit there, when we spoke to him on Tuesday, he said goals this season aren't about where you finish in the Premier League, top, bottom, 6th, 7th. He said it's about the process, and you don't win games at the weekend, it starts on a Monday, and that's what he values most about this club. Does that align with the values you're trying to instill? Do you believe if that's replicated amongst the squad, then this season will take care of itself?
Yeah, because if we follow the pundits and the odds, I think it's hard to be positive. When we are Sunderland 2 seasons ago, we were expected to be mid-table, and finally we got promoted at the end of the season at Wembley. Last season we were expected to be relegated by the end of December, probably. And finally, we hit this target in March, and we got this qualification in Europe at the end of the season. So it's about being Sunderland, not about the odds or the predictions. And when we stay true to our standards, and it's a daily activity, then we can be competitive anywhere and anytime. So it's about consistency, and I hope will be the case this season.
And looking ahead to this opening game against Ipswich, you mentioned there 9 or 10 new players come in, a new manager, potentially a different style of play. Is there a degree of mystery about these opponents first up, and how do you approach that? Yeah,
a little bit, because it's the beginning of the season, but also we try to anticipate the worst case scenario, the best version of Ipswich, and this is a challenge. So if it's under this standards, It's going to be positive for us, but we don't expect anything from them. So it's about us. We're going to face a high-intensity team. They will press high. They have good players, so they can play through with short passes and even long and counter press. So they have an efficient style of play, and so we don't expect less. So it's about us being strong in that condition.
Oh, geez. From what I can tell, you've never actually lost a senior game in league action on opening day. How much emphasis do you put on the need to win on opening day as a marker for the rest of the season?
Yeah, it's important to start well because you create the momentum, and rather than chasing confidence and references, it's better to start well, but you still have an opponent. And if they are stronger than you did well, you were aligned with your standards, you can lose. It's possible. So it's hard to anticipate the dynamic of the season. So the only thing we have under control is us, and after that, we'll see the results.
And your opponents, Ipswich, have kind of emulated what you guys done last season, signing a bunch of players. Do you feel like you set kind of a blueprint for teams coming up to follow?
I don't know if it's possible. It shows that we did well last season, and maybe this blueprint can be useful, but Ipswich is not Sunderland, and it's always a different story. So I don't know, to be fair. And for the game, expect if we are better than them, it's going to be all right. And if they have a good season after that, it's good for them.
Cheers.
Any more broadcasts? Yep.
Oh, geez. You've explained the situation as you see it in the transfer window this summer. Obviously, last summer there was a lot of new players coming in. So this summer, can you make stability your strength going into the season?
Yeah, we think so. It was our idea at the beginning of the transfer window. You can't control everything, but it's not the end of the transfer window. But at the minute we are in this idea, and I repeat, it's not the end of the story for this group. You can feel when you train with them every day, you live with them every day, if the energy is big, low, if you have problems within the connections in the team. It's not the case. They just enjoy to be together. They just enjoy to have strong objectives ahead. So it's really positive. And after that, obviously, it's still important to add a few players to help the team in different positions, and because of the numbers of games we'll have this season as well.
We talked at the start of last season how everybody doing their season predictions predicted that Sunderland will get relegated. This season, it seems that most people predict that Sunderland will struggle to cope with the extra games in Europe. Does that bother you, and can you use that as inspiration?
I like it. It's a big challenge once again. So keep the underdog mentality, keep the beginners mentality as well. It's like a first game in the Premier League, and I think it reinforces the belief in our project, in our foundations, and when we stay true to these principles, we are strong. So it's even better for me.
Régis, last season you started so well, just sort of bridging on those two questions there. If the Europa League games do have an impact on your domestic campaign in terms of making it a bit more difficult, how important are these first few weeks in getting off to that best possible start and getting points on the board?
Yes, it's connected. Everything is connected. If you start well, you have more confidence, more margin, but the reality is we can't control everything. So I repeat, we might start well. It doesn't mean that we'll finish the season well. We might start in a difficult position, but with good energy, good standards, and sometimes you can't win every game, even if you deserve to win. It's possible. So we'll see, and we'll give our best.
And is there a plan in place in terms of if injuries start hitting as well? Because obviously we've seen a lot of clubs go into Europe in recent years who perhaps haven't been used to being in Europe regularly, and they've had injury sort of crises as they've gone along. Is there a plan? Do you have to change the playing style perhaps at all?
We don't know yet. We'll see, because we'll experience the Europe in Sunderland. It's a new experience, so we'll see. I think it's important to say that we don't want to set a limit before, and we want to build a strong group. If we get better, probably from an energy perspective, we will be more efficient as well, which helps. So at the minute, we don't know, but I repeat, it's a big boost, so I want to see it positively. And after that, we might struggle at times, it's normal, but if we stay consistent, I'm really positive.
Okay, if we could turn the cameras off now then, please.